In this class, we are going to go over 2021 Basic Education Certificate Examination Mathematics Solution. Okay, let's start with the objective question. The value of 6 in 8764 is dash. The value of 6, that is question 1. The value of 6 in 8764 is dash. Now, to solve this question, you can write this number, you can write it like this: 8,000 plus 700 plus 60 plus 4. You understand? It's still going to give us 8764. Now, what is the place value of 6? The first option is 60, B 600, C 6 units, D 6. What is the right answer? The right option is 60. You understand? The right option is 60. That is option A. Option A is correct for the first question. Option A is correct. Okay, let's proceed to question number 2. I'm very sure you understood how I got 60. This is 8,760 and 4. 4 units. This is 4. This 4 means 4 units. You understand? So this is 60. Okay, let's proceed to question 2. Convert 90 to binary. Okay, you have to convert 90 to binary. Binary are numbers in base 2. You understand? Convert 90 to binary. Now, to convert 90 to binary, all you have to do is that just divide 90 by 2 and keep the remainder. Okay, so let us proceed. We have 90 here. Okay, 90 divided by 2, that is 45 remainder 0. You understand? Okay, 45 divided by 2, that is 22 remainder 1. Okay, 22 divided by 2, that is 11 remainder 0. 11 divided by 2, that is 5 remainder 1. 2 divided by 5, that is 2 remainder 1. You understand? Okay, 2, please pay attention. 2 divided by 2, that is 1 remainder 0. Then 2 divided by 1 is what? 0 remainder 1. And when you want to start writing the binary number, you start from below. Okay, so here we are going to have 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 base 2. This is binary. You understand? Binary number are digits that have only 1 and 0. You understand? They consist of 2 digits, which is 1 and 0. Okay, now so let's look at the right options in the question. Option A says 10 11 000 base 2. That's not correct. Option B 10 11 010 10 11 010. So the option B is the correct option. Option C is not correct as well. Option D is incorrect as well. The right option is option B. Okay, now for question 3, reduce 3 over 27 to its lowest term. To reduce a fraction, you have to divide that fraction to that lowest term. You understand? To the term where it is not reducible again. Are you paying attention? So if you want to reduce 3 over 7 to the lowest number, we are going to have, don't forget that, okay, 3 over 27. 27 can be divided by 3, right? And 3 can be divided by 3. You understand? 3 divided by 3 will give us 1. Okay? So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 27 divided by 3 is 9. Hence, the reduction of 3 over 27 to its lowest term is 1 over 9. Option A is 1 over 6, option B is 1 over 3, option C is 1 over 9, option D is 1 over 27. The right option is option C, which is 1 over 27, 1 over 9. Option C is correct. Okay? For question 4, change 0.5 to common fraction in its lowest term. Change 0.5 to common fraction in its lowest term. 0.5 to common fraction. Now I want you to pay attention. Please pay attention. Okay, 0.5 can be written as 5 times 10 raised to the power of negative 1. Do you understand? Because if you move this decimal point to the right hand side, that means that you're going to multiply that digit which you have, which is 5, multiply by 10, and the power is going to be a negative sign. You understand? And 10 raised to the power of, listen, 10 raised to the power of negative 1 is all the same thing as 1 over 10. You understand? So here I'm going to have 5 times 1 over 10. Okay, So I'm going to have 5 over 10. 5 over 10 is what? 1 over 2. Okay? The right option is 1 over 2. Hence, A, we have 1 over 3, B, we have 1 over 4, C, we have 1 over 5, and D, we have 1 over 2. The correct option is option D. Option D is correct, which is 1 over 2. Now, let's move to question number 5. Question number 5. The dimensions of a rectangle are 25 cm by 45 cm. The dimensions of a rectangle are 25 cm by 45 cm. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? Now, let's just write out the information that we're given. We're given that the dimensions are 25 centimeter by 45 centimeter. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? We have to find the perimeter. Now, pay attention, please. Dimensions in the rectangle, we always have length and breadth. Hope you know that. Okay, so let's draw the rectangle. Let's draw the rectangle. 45 centimeter, and this will be 25 centimeter. Now, if the dimensions are breadth and length, you understand? The breadth and length of the rectangle is what we give us, is what they call dimensions, you understand? Okay, now how do we calculate the perimeter of this rectangle? Don't forget that the perimeter of the rectangle is given by this formula. Perimeter P is equals to 2 into bracket L plus B. Okay, now because we've been given that, I just drew out this rectangle to help you to understand the solution to the question. Okay, so now this rectangle, the length is 45, so I'm going to have 2 into bracket 45 centimeter plus 25 centimeter. You understand? Okay, plus 25 centimeter. For this, I'm going to have P is equals to 2, open the bracket, 45 plus 25, that is 70. Okay, 70 centimeter. Okay, the perimeter is equals to 2 times 70 centimeter, that is 140 centimeter. Okay, the right option is 140 centimeter. Okay, option A says 120 centimeter, incorrect. Option B 130 centimeter, incorrect. Option C 140 centimeter. 140 centimeter is correct. That's the right option, option C. And option D, we have 150. That is not correct. Okay, I'm very sure you understood how I got 140. Listen to the explanation again. Dimensions of the rectangle tells the length and the breadth of the rectangle. So I just drew out the rectangle, and then I to find the perimeter of the rectangle, you make use of this formula. That's why. And if you are part of the previous class on 2022 basic education certificate examination, you are going to discover that this kind of question came out. Okay, so you must master this formula to open the parenthesis L plus B. That formula is very important. You want to solve for the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, now for question 6, what is the probability that the sun will set today? Okay, what is the probability that the sun will set today? Now, probability, the simple formula for probability is that the desired outcome all over total numbers of occurrence. You understand? The desired outcome that you want all over total numbers of occurrence. Listen. Now, in this question, today the sun can set and not set. You understand? That is the total outcome. The total outcome is 2. You understand? But now we are now asked to calculate the probability that the sun will set. That is a single outcome. Okay, that is our desired outcome. Is that not it? So probability desired outcome all over total outcome. And you can call it event. You understand? The probability that the event will happen all over the total numbers of events. You understand? The event can be, the sun can decide to be set, or the sun can set or may not set. You understand? That is 2. You understand? Okay, and the desired outcome is that we are asked to find the probability that the sun will set. So that the sun will set, the probability that the sun will set is 1. The probability that the sun will not set is also please listen. Okay, don't let me put probability now. The sun will set, we call it 1. Sun will not set, let us call it 1. So the probability that the sum we set will be equals to 1 all over the total outcome. The total outcome will be the sum we not set, which is 1, and the sum is set, that is also 1. Okay, 1 plus 1 is what? 2. So we're going to have 1 over 2. Okay, the right option to that question is option C, that is 1 over 2. Okay, I'm very sure you understood how I got this. You see, it's simple. Okay, now let's say what is the probability that you are going to watch this video till the very end? I'm asking you now. What is the probability that you are going to watch this video to the very end? The probability is 1 over 2. Why? Because you might decide to watch the video to the very end, or you might decide not to watch the video to the very end. I don't know. You understand? So that is 2. That is the total outcome. You might decide to watch the video to the very end, and you may decide not to watch it. You understand? So that is 2. You understand? Now, the desired outcome is that what is the probability that you are going to watch the video till the very end? You can see that is also 1. So the right option, the right question to the question that I told to you, the right answer is 1 over 2. Okay, so that's why I got this as well. Okay, what's the probability that you are going to eat this morning? The probability is also 1 over 2. You understand? Because you may decide to eat or not. Do you understand now? Okay, so if you come across that kind of question in the exam, you'll be able to solve it by just understanding the basic rule. Now let's proceed to question number 7. What must be added to the expression x squared plus 8x to make it a perfect square? I did a question on this. I did a class on this question, on a typical question that look like this on the channel. You understand? You can just check the playlist quadratic equation. If you want to learn quadratic equation, how to solve quadratic equation, you can check the playlist. Okay, it's simple. Now let's solve it. What must be added to the expression x squared plus 8x to make it a perfect square? X squared plus 8x to make it a perfect square. Now, I don't know what must be added. You know, this is a typical representation of a quadratic equation. Okay? To get the expression that must be added to make this expression a perfect square, we're going to use this discriminant. You understand? Discriminant is b squared equals to 4ac. For an expression to be a perfect square, the expression must satisfy this condition. Okay? Don't worry, it's simple. Okay? Just pay attention. You know, this is the question that we're given. What must we add to x squared plus 8x to make this quadratic equation a perfect square? So in an attempt to help us to solve the question, I brought out this discriminant. Okay, b squared equals to 4ac. What is b? What is a? What is c? Just pay attention. In every quadratic equation, let me please pay attention. Please pay attention. Very important. Now, if this is a typical representation of a quadratic equation, we have ax squared plus bx plus c. This is the typical representation of a quadratic equation, where a is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant term. Now, we are given this equation in the question. Hope you know. This is the equation that we are given: x squared plus 8x. Now, what will be the value of c? Let us represent as c. Okay, what will be the value of c that will make this quadratic equation a perfect square? We don't know it, and I don't know it as well. Okay, so compare this equation to this equation. A in this equation is 1, b in this equation is 8, and c is unknown. You understand? C is what we are looking for. Now let us use this discriminant rule formula that I gave to you. B squared is equals to 4ac. B squared is equals to 4ac. Now b is what? B is 8. So I'm going to have 8 squared is equals to 4 multiplied by a. A is 1. 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by c. We don't know the value of c, right? 8 squared is what? 8 squared is 64. So I'm going to have 64 is equals to 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times c is what? 4c. So I'm going to have 4c. Divide both sides by 4 to get the value of c. So I'm going to have this divided by 4 and this divided by 4. Do you understand? Okay? Yes, c will be equals to 18. C will be equals to 16. Hence, the value of c, the value that must be added to this quadratic equation to make it a perfect square is 16. You understand? X squared plus 8x plus 16. This quadratic equation is not a perfect square. Do you understand how I got this? If you didn't understand, listen to the explanation again. Okay? We are asked this question: what value must we add to this to make it a perfect square? Now, to get that value, I gave you this formula. Master this formula, okay? B squared is equals to 4ac. So, in an attempt to help you to explain the meaning of a, b, and c in this formula, I wrote out a typical representation of a quadratic equation, okay? And a is the coefficient of x, and the coefficient of x in our equation that we are given is what? 1, because an invisible one is present in this at the front of this x squared, and the coefficient of x, coefficient of x squared is what? 1. Coefficient of x, which is b, is what? 8. So in this quadratic equation, b is 8 and c is the constant term that we are looking for. You understand? So I just substitute the value of a as 1, b as 8, then I solve for the value of c, and I got 16. You understand? So that 16 is the value that must be added to the quadratic equation to make it a perfect square. Do you understand? Okay. Now let's proceed to the 8th question. Question 8. Question 8. We have the angles in a triangle are given as 2x degree, 3x degree, and 5x degree. Find the value of x. Question 8. The angles in a triangle is given as 2x degree, 2x degree, 3x degree, and 5x degree. Find the value of x. Find x. Now we know that the sum of angles in a triangle is what? Is 180 degree. This is a triangle. The sum of angle, a triangle is a shape that has a plane shape that has 3 sides and 3 angles. Okay, so we are given that these angles are the angles in these triangles is 5x degree, 2x degree, and 3x degree. I just got this out to just make and to just explain to you. Okay, this is not an equilateral triangle, but notwithstanding, okay, the sum of angles in a triangle is 180. So here, to get the value of x, we have to sum all the angles together. So I'm going to have 2x plus 3x plus 5x must be equal to 180 degree, okay? So 2x plus 3x, 5x, 5x plus 5x, that is 10x. 10x is equivalent to 180 degree. Divide also by 10 to get the value of x. X is equal to 18, okay? Now, since you know that the value of x is 18, let's look at the right option there. Oh, for question 7, the right option is 16. Option D is correct, okay? Now for question 8, which we are on, the value of x is 18 degree. And the right option to that question is option C. Option C is correct, okay? So let's proceed to question number 9. Question 9, make out the subject of the formula in the make out the subject of the formula in C is equals to 2 pi r. C is equals to 2 pi r. Okay? Now look at this formula. What is the name of the formula? The formula is for circle. You understand? Now, is this the formula? 2 pi r is for what? Is this for circumference or area of the circle? It's for circumference of the circle. Even though you are not asked, I'm just asking you to test you. Okay? This is circumference. C is circumference. 2 pi r. You understand? Circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. Okay? Now, how do we solve this question? It's simple. Just pay attention. All we have to do is that we want to isolate r so that r will stand alone. Okay? Make r the subject of the formula means that you have to do something to this equation, manipulate this equation such that r will stand alone. Now, we want r to stand alone. There are two things that is attached to r. First thing is 2 and another thing is pi. So if I want to make r to stand alone, what am I going to do? I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi. You understand? So it's simple. Just divide both sides by 2 pi. This divided by 2 pi. And this divided by 2 pi. Hence, r is equals to c over 2 pi. That is the final answer, okay? So, what is the right option in that question? We have option A, r is equals to c over 2 pi. Option B, r is equals to 2 pi. C, r is equals to c. D, r is equals to c over pi. The right option is r is equals to c 2 pi. C over 2 pi. Option A is correct, okay? Now, let's proceed to question 10. Question 10 is on variation. Variation. Question 10. X varies directly as the square of y. Write an equation for this statement. Let me tell you. You have to understand the concept of word problem in mathematics, okay? And this topic is coming from variation. Now, x varies directly as the square of y. That means that, let us write it, x varies directly as the square of y. The square of y simply means y squared, okay? X varies directly as the square of y. Now, this is not the end of the question, okay? We have to change this derivation sign to equals to sign. And if we want to change it to equals to sign, we have to introduce a proportionality constant, okay? So we're going to have x is equals to ky squared. See, let me tell you, in 2022 past question, this kind of question came out, and I took time to explain. So if you missed the class, the theoretical aspect, if you missed that class, check the channel and watch it, okay? Now we have x is equals to ky squared. That is the right expression. So let's say you wrote, if you have x is equals to y squared, they are going to miss it for you, because variation tells us the proportion which a variable varies with respect to another. You understand? And because we want to change the sign of the variation sign, we have to introduce a proportionality constant. You understand? The proportionality constant tells us the measures. Is have to measure the variation between the two variables. You understand what I'm saying? So that is, if I know the value of the variable, I can easily determine the value of order. You understand? By dividing it by, or by multiplying it by the proportionality constant. You can see now. So it's simple, okay? So if you miss those class, make sure you check the channel and watch it. You understand? To get more knowledge on this particular concept, because I've seen it in many past questions, many past questions for you that you are writing in this exam. And if you are also in grade, if you are in grade 9, it is important that you know this kind of question, okay? Now, so this is not the right answer. The right answer is x is equals to ky squared. So let's look at the right option here. We have option A, x is equals to y squared. That's not correct. Option B, x is equals to ky squared. That is the right answer. Option B is correct. Option B is correct. X is equals to ky squared. And option C, x equals to y. Option D, x equals to ky. That's not correct. Okay, this is the correct answer. Now, let's move to question 11. For question 11, we have a number that is not divisible by 2 is called dash. A number that is not divisible by 2 is called dash. A, even number. B, odd number. C, prime number. D, factor. The right option is odd number. Option B is correct. You understand? If you divide an odd number by 2, you are going to have a remainder. You understand? You are going to have a remainder of 1. What are examples of odd number? Odd number include, we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 15, 13, 21, 77, 79. You see now? So odd number, if you divide odd number by 2, you're going to leave a remainder. You understand? So an even number, example of even number is 2. You understand? And if you divide an even number by 2, there is no remainder. Example, if you divide by 4 by 12, 4 by 2, you're going to have 2. 6 by 2, you're going to have 3. 8 by 2, you're going to have 4. You understand? So those ones are even number. And if you divide it by 2, you're going to have any remainder. You are not going to have any remainder. You understand? So those ones are even number. And that is not the right option. The right option to that question is odd number, which is option B. Okay? Now, we have number 12. The square root of 49 over 9 is dash. The square root of 49 over 9, okay? Question 12. The meaning of square root is this. Square root, S-Q-U-A-R, of square root of 49 over 9. Okay, let's go. Please pay attention. The meaning of square root is what? This is the sign. So here, please pay attention. If you want to solve this question, since you know that 49 over 9 is not, you cannot reduce it without having a decimal, okay? Just place it inside. You're going to have 49 all over 9. Now, square root of 49 is what? Square root of 49 all over square root of 9. Square root of 49 is what? 7. And square root of 9 is what? 3. So I'm going to have this over 3. Okay? The right option to that question is option C, okay? Option C is correct. Option C is correct, okay? So let's proceed to question number 13. For question 13, the product of x minus 2 and x minus 3 is dash. The product of x minus 2 and x minus 3 is dash. Okay? Product simply means multiplication. You understand? What they ask us to do is that we are asked to multiply this by this. You understand? Okay? So if you want to multiply, if you want to multiply this bracket together, let's do it step by step. Okay? We're going to have x minus 2 and x minus 3. Okay? Now, to take the product, take the first term in this bracket. The first term in this bracket is x. So I'm going to have x, use it to multiply the second bracket, all the terms in the second bracket. So I'm going to have this x minus 3. Now, when you are done with that, take the second term in the first bracket, which is what? Minus 2. Use it to multiply all the terms in the second bracket as well. So I'm going to have x minus 3 as well. Okay? By so doing, you are done with the solution. All you have to do is just simplify it now. Let me erase this. All you have to do now is just simplification, then you are done. Now let us proceed. We have x into bracket x minus 3, then minus 2 into bracket x minus 3. Okay, x times x is what? X squared. X times negative 3x, that is what? Negative 3x. Oh, sorry. X times negative 3, that is negative 3x. Negative 2 times x, that is what? Negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 3, that is what? Positive 6. So here I'm going to have x squared minus 5x plus 6. You understand? I'm very sure you understood how I got this. Minus 3x minus 2x, that is what? Minus 5x. Okay? So don't get confused. Now, what's the right option? The right option to that question is option D. Option D is correct. Okay? For question 13, option D is correct. Now, let's move to question 14. Express 20 over 3 as a mixed number. Express 20 over 3 as a mixed fraction. Oh, and they put it as number. Let us put it like that, as a mixed number. Mixed number is a number that consists of whole numbers and a fraction. You understand? So, if you want to express 20 over 3 as a mixed number, I'm very sure you understood the concept of mixed fraction. A typical example of a mixed fraction is this: a whole number b over c. You understand? Mixed, it has a whole number and it also has a fraction. Okay? So let us express 20 over 3 as a mixed number. 20 divided by 3. That will give us 18. Oh, so 6. Sorry, 6. 20 divided by 3 will give us 6. So I'm going to have 6 whole number. Now, you know that 20 divided by 3 will give us 6. 6 times 3 is what? 18, right? Now, if you subtract 18 from 20, that will remain what? 3, right? So the right option is 6 whole number 3 over 3. Oh God, I made a mistake. Okay, divide 20 by 3. That is what? That is 6 remainder 2, right? Yes, 6 remainder 2. So if you want to express this as a mixed number, you're going to have 6 whole number 2 over 3. You understand? 6 whole number, you're going to write the remainder at the top, then the denominator you're going to create here. By the time you take the product of this and this, you're still going to have 20 over 3. 6 times 3 is what? 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. So I'm going to have 20 over 3 as well. Okay? So if you want to express 20 over 3 as a mixed number, you're going to have 6 whole number 2 over 3. Do you understand? Okay? The right option to that question is option C. Option C is correct. Okay, let us proceed to question 15. Correct 7,324.051 to one significant figure. Okay? Correct 7,324.051 to one significant figure. Okay? We have 7,324.051 to one significant figure. Okay? How do we change this to one significant figure? Before you can solve this question, you have to understand what is meant by significant figure. Significant figures are those figures that when you add them or subtract them from another number, they are going to have effect on that number. Okay, listen to the definition again. Okay, in simple terms, a number is called a significant figure if that number has effect on another number when it is subtracted or added to that number. Okay, now pay attention. Let's say we have 4. You understand? Let's say we have 4. Now let us try maybe 1 is a significant figure or not. Don't forget the definition. The definition in simple terms is that any number that has the ability to change, that has effect on another number when it is subtracted or added to another number, it is called a significant figure. Now let us test 1. Let us try if 1 is a significant figure or not. Okay, let us subtract 1 from 4. 4 minus 1 is what? Is 3. And at the same time, 4 plus 1 is what? Is what? That is 5. So 1 is a significant figure because when it is added to 4, it gave us 5. And when it's subtracted from 4, it gave us 3. You understand? Okay, let us try 0. 4 plus 0 will still give me 4. 4 minus 0 is what? 4. You can see that 0 is not a significant figure. Okay, so any number that we call a significant figure must have effect on another number when it is added and when it is subtracted. Okay, having understood what is meant by significant figure, now that means that, please pay attention. If I'm to change this to significant figure, that means that I'm going to do something to this. I'm going to approximate. You understand? Now, because we are asked to change it to one significant figure, I'm going to check the first number. Okay, the first number is what? 7. So I'm going to write 7. Now, because 3 is not up to 5, you understand? Before we can approximate a number, I'm very sure you are familiar with approximation. Okay, now because before we can approximate a number, that number must be up to 5, you understand? And if you approximate a number that is up to 5, it will give us 1. It is that one that I'm going to add to this 7. But because 3 is not up to 5, that means that we are going to add 0. Every number after 7 will be 0, 0, 0. You understand? And because this is a decimal point, if you have something like this, 7,000.000, it's still the same thing as 7,000. Do you understand? Okay, so in the option, you might not find something like this, but this is the correct answer. Okay, so in that case, the right option to that question is option B, which is 7,000. Okay. So, and if you want to learn more on significant figure, you can check the channel, okay? Check the channel to learn more on how to round off a number approximation. You understand, okay? So that, and the correct option to that question is option B. Option B is correct. Okay, let us proceed to question 16. For question 16, convert 1101 base 2 to base 10. Okay, convert. Question 16. Convert 1101 base 2 to base 10. Now, please, I want you to pay attention. I'm very sure you are familiar with binary number, okay? If you want to change a binary number to base 10, all you have to do is that just multiply that number by the base, okay? Okay, if you want to change any number from any base to base 10, just multiply the number by the base, okay? But before you can do that, you have to assign some figure to the binary number, okay? The figure, the power to which each 2 that you're going to be multiplying by the binary number is going to take, you have to assign some figure with it. So because we have 1 here, we're going to assign 0. The second number, you assign 1. The third, you assign 2. The fourth, you assign 3. Do you understand? Okay. So by the time you take the product of 1101 by the and multiply it by the base, each 2 is going to take the power that you assign. Okay. So let us proceed. For this, I'm going to have 1 times 2. For this one now, that will be 1 times 2, 1 times 2 raised to the power of 3. Because this one is carrying 3 now. Are you paying attention? Plus this one again, multiplied by 2. 1 times 2 raised to the power of 2 plus 0 times 2 raised to the power of 1 plus 1 times 2 raised to the power of 0. Do you understand? Okay, having done that, let us simplify. 1 times 2 raised to the power of 3. 2 raised to the power of 3 is what? 8. You understand? Because 2 raised to the power of 3 is equivalent to 2 times 2 times 2. Okay? So I'm going to have 1 times 8 plus 1 times 4 plus 0 times 2 plus 1 times 1. Okay? 2 raised to the power of 0 is 1. You know, according to the law of unity law of indices, if you raise a number to power of 0, the answer is equivalent to 1. Okay? Now, for this, we're going to have 8 plus 4 plus 0 plus 1. Do you understand? Okay. So for this, 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 1, 12 plus 0 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. So the A will be 13 base 10. Okay. And in some in the option they might not put base, but notwithstanding, the answer is 13. Okay. So that should be a bonus question. Now let us proceed to question 17. Roman numeral MCC in number is dash. Question 17. Roman numeral MCC in number is dash. Do you know the meaning? That is, you are asked to write this. This is in Roman numeral now. You're going to change. You are asked to write it in number. Now you know that M is what? M is 1000. Okay. M is 1000. So since you know that M is equivalent to 1000, and we have C. C is equivalent to what? 100. And another C. C is equivalent to 100. So if you add them together, you're going to have 1000. Okay, 0021. So 1200. The right answer, the right option to that question is option D, which is 1200. Do you understand? Okay, let us proceed to question 18. For question 18, we are asked to change 5 over 9 to decimal fraction. Change 5 over 9 to decimal fraction. Now, listen to me carefully, please. I want you to pay attention. If you are asked to change a fraction to a decimal, there are some fractions that are called recurring fraction. You understand? Recurring fraction is a fraction that when you change it to decimal, they have an infinite decimal point. Infinite number after the decimal point. You understand? For example, the question that we are given is 5 over 9, and if you punch your calculator, 5 divided by 9 will give you 0.5555555. This type of fraction is a recurring fraction. You understand? It's not a terminating fraction. Terminating fraction is a fraction that, you know, they are the type of fraction that if you eventually use calculator, if you they have an end, there is an end to the number after the decimal point. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so this kind of fraction is a recurring fraction, and the right option to that question, if you punch your calculator, you're going to have 0.55. The right option to that question is option A. Option A is correct. But because if you are to approximate to 2 decimal places, that will be 0.56. But since there is no approximation, okay, let me write it on the board. Question 18. Change 5 over 9 to decimal fraction. 5 over 9 to decimal fraction. That is 0.55555. You know, and so now, because we are not asked to approximate, so the decimal will be 0.55. Okay. So the right option to that question is option A. Do you understand? Now let us proceed to question number 19. Solve the inequality 5x minus 6 is less than 2, and we have parentheses x plus 3. We are asked to solve that equation. Please, I want to pay attention. Now, question 19. 5x minus 6 is less than 2 multiplied by x plus 3. Now, how do we solve this equation? Please pay attention. The first step is to simplify, okay? What do you simplify? You can see that at the right hand side of this equation, you can see that we have 2. So, you're going to use this 2 to multiply all the terms inside the bracket. So, I'm going to have 5x minus 6 is less than 2 multiplied by x is 2x. 2 multiplied by plus 3 is what? Plus 6. You understand? So, now, having done that, you have to collect like terms, okay? Collecting like terms simply means that adding the terms that are similar to each other together, okay? You can see that we have 5x here and we have 2x here. So, this 2x is going to crosses the inequality sign. I'm very sure you are familiar with inequality. Well, if you want to learn more on inequality, there are many, I have done many classes on this channel. Just check the channel and watch those classes, okay? So this 2x is going to cross the inequality sign. So hence I'm going to have 5x. Now because it is positive here, the sign is going to change to negative. So I'm going to have 5x minus 2x. Do you understand? Now this negative 6 as well is going to cross the inequality sign. is going to cross the inequality sign to the other side. So now don't forget that we are having plus 6 in this place, so I'm going to have is less than 6. This is this. Please pay attention. This 6 that I wrote here is this. Now if this negative 6 crosses the inequality sign, the sign is going to change to positive, so I'm going to have positive 6. Okay, 5x minus 2x will give us 3x, so I'm going to have 3x less than 6 plus 6, that is 12. Okay, now we are asked to solve the inequality. The goal is to determine the ranges of the value of x. Okay, so I'm going to divide this by 3 to get the values of x. So here I'm going to have x is less than 12 divided by 3 will give us 4. Okay, so x is less than 4 is the answer. Now let's look at the correct option. Option A says x is equals to 4. Don't say x is equals to 4. If you choose x is equals to 4, you are not going to be given the right option. They are not going to mark it for you. You are wrong. The reason is because this question is coming from a topic known as inequality. You understand? Okay, so option A is incorrect. Option B is correct. Option C is not correct. Option D is not correct. So the right option is option B. Okay, option B. So we have question 20. Question 20. Please pay attention. How many sides has a pentagon? Okay, if you've watched on our class, this question is coming from a polygon. You understand? Okay, now if you watch the solution to 2022 basic education certificate examination mathematics solution that I did on this channel, we have this kind of question. Okay, so you see now, so being exposed to past exam question will help you to know the type of question that you are going to be expecting in exam. Okay, so now let's solve the question. You know that we have many types of polygon. Okay, we have different type of polygon. We have polygon depending on the size now. Okay, type of polygon, we have regular and irregular polygon. But regular polygon, we classify them based on sides, and one of it is pentagon. You understand? Now, how many sides does a pentagon has? Let me quickly give you an hint. Please, I want to master this. Okay, I want to master this. Based on size, polygon are triangle. We have triangle. We have quadrilateral. We have quadrilateral. We have pentagon. We have hexagon. We have heptagon. We have octagon. We have nonagon, and we have decagon. You see, please, I want to master what I wrote on the board, because I think on in 2022 past question they asked about, maybe I think it's hexagon or maybe heptagon. Now they're asking about pentagon on them. Let me tell you, this triangle that you see here, 3 side, this is 4 side, 5 side, 6 side, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, decagon is 10. Now the question says that which polygon, okay, how many sides has a pentagon? So the sides that a pentagon has is what? Is 5. So the correct option to that question is option C. Okay, so master this. Okay, master this. Option C is correct. Now for question 21, we have the sum of the interior angles of a polygon is 1440 degrees. How many sides has the polygon? Okay, the sum of the interior angles of a polygon is 1440 degrees. How many sides has the polygon? Now, before you can solve this question, you have to remember the basic formula for polygon. You understand? Polygon with n sides can be the sum of angles. Okay, 21. The sum of angles in a polygon can be calculated using this formula: n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees. Do you understand? The sum of angle in a polygon can be calculated using this formula. Now, please, I want you to pay attention. In calculating the sum of angle using this formula, we've been given that the sum of angle in the polygon is what? 1440 degrees. So here I'm going to have 1440 degrees is equivalent to n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees. Do you know the reason? Because we've been given the sum of angles in the polygon, okay, where n is the numbers of sides. Do you understand? I told you that polygon with n side, the sum of angles in that polygon can be calculated using this. And this type of polygon is a regular polygon, okay? A regular polygon is a polygon that has all its sides and the angles equal, okay? Now, like, you know, they have equal sides and the angles in the polygon are also equal. You understand? That is a regular polygon, okay? So here, we can calculate the value of n by just multiply. I'm going to have 1440 degree is equals to 180 n minus 360. You understand? Because 180 times n is what? This. 180 times negative 2, that is 360. Do you understand? Okay. Now, having done that, the next step is that you have to collect like terms. And you want to collect like terms because we have 1440 minus 360. That will give us 1080. Okay. 1440 minus 360 is equals to 180n. Okay. Now, divide both sides. This minus this will give me 1080 equals to 180n. So divide both sides by 180. This over 180. So n is equivalent to 1080 divided by 180. That is 6. You understand? So the n is equals to 6. So we have 6 sides. Let us look at the correct options. Let's look at the correct options. Option A says 7. Option B says 6. Option C 5. Option D 8. So the correct option to that question is option C. Option B, which is 6 sides. Okay. If the polygon has 6 sides, and this kind of polygon is a regular polygon. Okay. So let us proceed to question 22. For question 22, we have find the amount which 5,000 naira will yield for 1 year at 6%. 22. Find the amount which 5,000 naira will yield for 1 year at 6%. Now, amount, don't forget, amount, please pay attention. Amount is equals to principal plus interest. Okay? Do you understand? Now, the principal in the question is what? 500 naira. Principal is equals to 500 naira. You understand? There are other parameters that we are given in the question. We are given that the rate is in percentage. That is 6%. Okay. Now we've known the rate, and the time is what? The time is equals to 1. Okay. So with respect to what we are given, we can calculate the interest. You understand? Then to get the amount, we just have to add the interest to the principal. Okay. Now interest can be calculated using this formula. Simple interest is equals to principal times rate times time all over 100. Okay. So the interest is equals to principal is 500. 500 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 1 all over 100. Okay. Do you understand? Now pay attention. The interest is equals to, now 500 divided by 100, that is what? 5. So I'm going to have 5 times 6 times 1. 5 times 6 times 1 is what? 30. So the interest is equals to 30 naira. Now the amount is, please pay attention. Please master this formula. Okay, you have to master this formula. Amount is equals to principal plus interest. What do I say? Amount is equals to principal plus interest. Now ordinarily, if you are asked to calculate the interest is 30 naira. Okay, but now we are asked for the amount, and you know from the formula is principal plus interest. So the amount, which is A, is equals to principal, which is 500 plus the interest that we got. That is 500 naira plus 30 naira. Okay, 500 naira plus 30 naira, that is what? 530. So the amount is equals to 530 naira. So let us check the correct option. The correct option to that question is option A. Option A is correct. Option B is 520. That's not correct. Option C is 540. That is not correct. Option D is 550. That is not correct. The correct option is 530. That is option A. Option A is correct. Okay. So question 23. The angle of elevation of the top of a building is 25 degrees from a point 80 meters away on a level ground. Calculate the height of a building to two significant figures. Okay. Now please pay attention. angle of elevation and depression. I'm very sure you will have heard of it before. Now, I'm going to solve this question and I want you to pay attention. Angle of elevation, please pay attention. Let's say this is a boy. Now, let's say this is the eye level of the boy. You understand? This is the eye level of the boy. The angle of elevation is the angle between the eye level and the top. You understand? Let's say this is a building, okay? Let's say this is a building, okay? Now, this is the eye level of the boy. If this boy raises his head above the eye level, this is the eye level, don't forget, this is the eye level, this is the eye level of the boy. If this boy raises his head above the eye level, you understand? Let's say he raises his head like this. He want to view this out. You understand what I'm saying? This house is at the top here. I'm just using this as an example so that you understand the meaning of the question, okay? Angle of elevation is the angle between the eye level and the top, okay? So let's say this is the eye level of the boy and the boy intentionally wants to check, maybe, this is a beautiful house. He wants to look at how beautiful the house is. So he raises his head above. Now, the angle between the eye level and this is what we call the angle of elevation, okay? Do you understand? So, let's go back to the question. I just explained what is meant by angle of elevation. So now, let's go back to the question. The angle of elevation of the top of the building. Now, let's say this is the building, okay? This is the building. The angle of elevation of the top of the building, okay? So, let's say this is the top of the building. They now say that the angle of, the question says the angle of elevation of the top, don't mind my diagram, okay? Just pay attention, you're going to understand. I just want to sketch something. So, the question says the angle of elevation of the top of the building is 25 degrees. So, this angle here, that we see here is 25 degrees, okay? Now, the question will proceed that from a point 80 meters away from the ground level. So now, from this point to this point, okay, from this point to this point is 80 meters. So here I'm going to have 80 meters. Now, the question says calculate the height of the building to two significant figures. The height of the building is this, okay? This is the height of the building. You can see that this diagram looks like a shape. And the name of that shape is called triangle. Now, what kind of triangle can we call this? It is called a right angle triangle. So I can redraw this shape like this. I can redraw it like this. Do you understand? So I'm going to have 25 degrees here. So I'm going to have 80 meters here. You understand? So this is how I'm very sure you are familiar with right angle triangle. A right angle triangle is a triangle that has one of its angle equivalent to 90 degrees. Okay? A right angle triangle is a triangle that has one of its angle equivalent to 90 degrees. That is, one of the angle is 90 degrees. Do you understand? Okay, so now we want to calculate the height. I'm very sure you remember this mnemonic device. So katwa. So katwa. Now, please pay attention. In this mnemonic device, S means sine. You understand? S that you see here means sine. Sine, that is sine angle that we are considering. Because we are considering this angle, sine is equals to what? Opposite over hypotenuse. Now, ka, which is cos, is equals to adjacent. This A that you see here is what? Adjacent. Adjacent over hypotenuse, okay? Now, twa, which is tan, is equals to what? Opposite over adjacent. Please pay attention. You see, if you want to learn more on trigonometry, this topic is called trigonometry. This is just basic trigonometry for your level, okay? So if you want to learn more on trigonometry, check the channel. There is a particular playlist on trigonometry. Check the channel, click on playlist. Then you're going to see many playlists. Just go to trigonometry. You're going to see some videos that I've already made, okay? Just watch those videos to learn more, okay? Now, because we want to calculate the height of this building, if I want to calculate the height, I've been given the adjacent. Please pay attention. If you want, I want you to understand, okay? I want you to understand. See, adjacent is this. Opposite is the side that faces the angle that I'm considering, because I'm considering this angle. I'm considering this angle now. The side that faces this angle is the hypotenuse. Is the opposite. You understand? And the opposite is the height. Okay, because we are asked to calculate the height from the question. I don't know. Please just pay attention. Maybe you missed our class on trigonometry. Check those class to I explain in details. Okay, so let us proceed. So for this, I want to calculate the height because height is the opposite. I can represent as opposite. The side here, height is the opposite. Now, I've been given the adjacent. Opposite and adjacent. What mnemonic device combine opposite and adjacent? You understand? Please pay attention. In the first mnemonic device, which is so, sine is what? Opposite over hypotenuse. It doesn't have adjacent. I'm not going to use this one. Cos is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. It doesn't have opposite, so I'm not going to use it as well. Tan is what? Opposite over adjacent. So now this tan has both opposite that I'm looking for and the adjacent that I've been given. So I can use tan. Okay? So let us proceed to use tan. Tan 25 degree now is equals to opposite. Opposite is h, which is height, all over adjacent. Adjacent is what? 80. So you can see now. So now let us you can punch your calculator to get the value of tan. To get the value of 25 degree. Tan 25 degree is 0.4663. 0.4663 is equivalent to h over 80. Now you can put this over 1, then you cross multiply. So I'm going to have 1 times h is equals to 80 times 0.4663. Okay, 1 times h is h. H is equals to 80 multiplied by 0.4663. 80 times 0.463, that is for 37.30. Okay, 37.304. Now, because the question says we should correct to two significant figures, do you understand? So the question says we should correct to two significant figures. Hence, I'm going to have the height is equals to 37.30 meter. Okay, because 4 is not up to 5. Okay, let's say that 4 is, you have to learn how to approximate. Okay, maybe you don't know how to approximate and you wish to learn, you can check the playlist on this channel. Do you understand? Okay, so now because 4 is not up to 5, 4 is going to take an insignificant figure of 0. Okay, so we are have to approximate to two significant figures. That is h is equals to 37 meter. You see, this one that you please let me explain something. If you choose if you choose 37.30, this is 2 decimal place. You understand? Let me change this marker. This one that you see here is 2 decimal place. Now we are asked to approximate to two significant figures. So the right answer there is 37 meter. Do you understand? If you write this as the answer, you're going to get a wrong, they're going to miss it for you. This is the right answer. And the correct option to that question is option B. Option B is correct. Because 37 meter is also the same thing as 37.0 meter. It's also the same thing. 0 is not significant. Do you understand? So that is the correct option to that question. Now, let us proceed to question number 24. Solve the simultaneous equation x plus y is equivalent to 5. Simultaneous equation. X plus y is equals to 5. And 2x plus y is equals to 3. X plus y is equals to 5. 2x plus y is equals to 3. Okay, you can solve simultaneous equation using 3 methods. First, elimination. Second, substitution. And the third, you can solve it as using graphical method. But in this class, I'm going to be using substitution method. Okay, so let us proceed. In solving this equation substitution method, let us label this as equation 1, this as equation 2. The first step is that you have to make one of the unknown the subject of the formula. Okay. Now, it is easy to make any unknown the subject of the formula in equation 1. So, I'm going to make x the subject of the formula in equation 1. In equation 1 is what? X plus y is equals to 5. So, if I want to make x the subject of the formula, I'm going to take this y to the other side of the equation. Now, because y is having plus before, it's going to have a minus now. Because if this positive y crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to change to minus. Now, the next step is that I'm going to substitute this x is equals to 5 minus y. I'm going to replace x as 5 minus y in equation 2. Equation 2 is what? 2x plus y is equals to 3. Now, x is equals to 5 minus y. So I'm going to have 2 into bracket 5 minus y plus y is equals to 3. So 2 times 5 is what? 10. Then 2 times negative y is what? Negative 2y plus y is equals to 3. Okay, now, okay, is equals to 3. We can now solve for y by collecting like terms. Do you understand? I'm going to take this 10 to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to have negative 2y plus y is equals to 3. If this 10 crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to change to negative. So I'm going to add negative 10. So negative 2y plus y. Negative 2y plus y means, let's say you are owing someone 2 naira. You now pay 1 naira. How many are you owing? You are still owing 1 naira, right? That is negative y. So I'm going to have negative y is equals to 3 minus 10. That is negative 7. So I'm going to have negative 7 here. So divide both by negative 1. This over negative 1. See, let me tell you. Negative y is also the same thing as negative 1y. You understand? So that's why I'm dividing both sides by negative 1. Okay? So, in an attempt to help me to eliminate the negative sign at the front of y. Do you understand? So, this negative is going to cancel this. I'm going to have this. So y is equivalent to 7, okay? Y is equals to 7. Now, having gotten the value of y as 7, you can easily get the value of x by substituting the value of y as 7 in this equation. So, since you know that x is equals to 5 minus y, and y is equals to 7, so I'm going to have x is equals to 5 minus 7, okay? So, x is equals to what? 5 minus 7 is what? Minus 2. So, x comma y is what? Minus 2 comma 7. That is, x is equals to minus 2 and y is equals to 7. So let us look at the correct option. The first option says x is equals to 7 and y is equals to minus 2. That is incorrect, okay? Because from our solution we can see that x is equals to minus 2 and y is equals to 7. So option A is not correct. Option B, x is equals to 7 and y is equals to 2. That is also not correct. Option C, x is equals to negative 2 and y is equals to 7. Option C is correct. Do you understand? Option C is correct. Now option D is x is equals to 2 and y is equals to negative 7. That is incorrect as well. Now please pay attention. If you want to learn more on simultaneous linear equation, there are many classes that I've already done on it. Just check the channel, check the playlist on this channel. Inside the playlist, you're going to see many videos that will help you as far as simultaneous equation is concerned, because this kind of question often come out. Even in 2022 past question, it came out. Okay, so make sure you learn how to solve it. Now for question number 20, for question number 25, you are now in question 25. What is the coefficient of x in the expansion of 3x minus 5 and 2x plus 3? I told you that expansion simply means removing barriers, removing brackets. Okay, if you are part of our class on algebraic expansion, you want to learn more on it, check the playlist. Algebraic expansion. Expansion simply means removing the bracket. Okay, so now let me write out what we have here. We have 3x minus 5 and 2x plus 3. Now we have to first expand, and then we are going to take the coefficient of x in the expansion. Now let us expand this bracket. To expand this bracket, you have to go this way. You take the first term in the first bracket. The first bracket is 3x minus 5. So you take the first term in the first bracket. The first term in the first bracket is what? Is 3x. So you use this first term to multiply all the terms inside the second bracket. You understand? So you can rewrite it like this: 3x, then you open the bracket, 2x plus 3. That is the second bracket. That is the meaning. What you did here is that you take the first term, which is 3x, you use it to multiply all the terms inside the second bracket, which is 2x plus 3. Okay, so now the next thing is that you have to take the second term in the first bracket as well. Okay, The first bracket has two terms. The first term is 3x, the second term is minus 5, okay? So the first step is that you have to use the first term, which is 3x, to multiply all the terms in the second bracket. When you are done with that, you take the second term as well to multiply all the terms in the second bracket. So you can see now for this, I'm going to have, now please pay attention. When you are taking the second term, make sure that you take the sign as well, okay? So I'm going to have minus 5, then use it to multiply 2x plus 3, okay? So for this, we're going to have 3x times 2x. 3x times 2x is what? 3 times 2, 6. X times x squared, okay? So for this, I'm going to have 6x squared. 3x times plus 3. 3x times plus 3 will give us what? 9x. So I'm going to have plus 9x minus 5 times 2x. Minus 5 times 2x is what? Minus 10x. So I'm going to have minus 10x. Then minus 5 times plus 3. Please, you have to know, you have to learn how to take the product of signs. Master this formula. Master this. I want to write something here. Make sure you master it. Minus times minus. Plus. Minus times plus. Minus. Plus times minus. Minus. Plus times plus. Plus. Okay? So make sure you master this, okay? Because you might be wondering that how am I getting minus, how am I getting plus? This is very important, okay? So we have minus times plus, that is what? Minus. 5 times 3 is what? 15. So I'm going to have here minus 15. Okay? So for this, I'm going to have 6x squared 9 plus 9x minus 10x. Plus 9x minus 10x. Let's say that you are owing someone 10 naira and you give that person 9 naira. You pay 9 naira out of the 10 naira that you are owing. How much are you owing? You are still having negative 1. Negative 1 naira. You understand? So here, plus 9x minus 10x, that is what? Minus 1x. And minus 1x is also the same thing as minus x. Okay? So I'm going to have 6x squared minus x plus, okay, minus 15. Minus 15. Okay? So having expanded the bracket, let us check. The coefficient of x here is negative. Okay? The coefficient of x in the expansion is negative 1. Coefficient simply means the number at the front of the letter x. You understand? Coefficient of x is the number at the front of letter x. You have to consider the sign as well, okay? You have to pay attention to the sign. Now listen, x is here. The coefficient is what? Minus 1, okay? Even though the 1 is invisible, it is still minus 1. Just like if you say x is also the same thing as 1x. Now, because we have negative at the front of x, it is called minus 1, okay? So here, the coefficient is what? Minus 1. The right option to that question is option A. Option A is correct. Option A is minus 1, option B 1, option C 5, option D 6. The correct option is option A. Okay? So let us proceed to question number 26. Number 26. Okay? For question 26, we have calculate the volume of a rectangular box which measures 20 centimeter, 15 centimeter, and 15 centimeter. Okay? Calculate the volume of a rectangular box which measures 20 centimeter, 15 centimeter, and 15 centimeter. Now, the volume of a rectangular box is length times breadth times height. Okay? Do you understand? Please master that formula, okay? Length times breadth. Length times breadth times length times breadth times height. Now we are given that the measurement are 20 centimeter by 15 centimeter by 15 centimeter. So now please pay attention. 20 times 15 times 15, that is 4,500. So yeah, I'm going to have 4,500. Now, centimeter times centimeter, centimeter square. Centimeter square times centimeter, that is centimeter cube. So I'm going to have centimeter cube. Okay? So the correct option to this question is option B is correct. 4,500 centimeter cube. Don't choose option C. Okay? Let me list the option. Option A is 1,200 centimeter cube. That is incorrect. Option B is 4,500 centimeter cube. That is correct. Option C is 4,500 centimeter square. Volume is measured in cube, you understand, because you are multiplying three parameters: length, breadth, and height. That is what you are multiplying together. So the unit is in cube, you understand, because we are giving centimeter, we are going to have centimeter cube. If you are giving meter, we are going to have meter cube. Do you understand? Okay, and option D is 45 centimeter cube, which is not correct. So the correct option is option B. Okay, option B is correct. Now let's move to question 27. Question 27, we have, how would you describe an isosceles triangle? Okay, how would you describe an isosceles triangle? Option A, each of the angle is acute. Option A, each of the angle is acute. Option B, one of the angle is 90 degree. Option C, each of the angle is acute. You can see that option A and option C was repeated in the question. So option D, two equal sides and base angles, and the base angles are the same. Now, you have to know what is meant by isosceles triangle. You know, we have many types of triangle. We have number one, equilateral. Equilateral triangle, all the sides. Let me draw it. In equilateral triangle, all the sides and the angles are equal. That is why we call it equilateral triangle. Now we have another triangle known as isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle is a type of triangle in which it has only two sides which are equal. Only two sides are equal. Now, if the two sides are equal, that means that the base angle as well is equal. This is example of isosceles. Isosceles triangle. So now from the option, the right option to that question is option D. Option D is correct. Okay, so question 28, which of these is an example of a right angle? Which of these is an example of a right angle? Question 28, we have option A 70 degree, option B 60 degree, option C 180 degree, and option D 90 degree. The answer is 90 degree. A right angle, that is why, you know, I'm very sure you are familiar with something called a right angle triangle. You understand? A right angle triangle is a type of triangle in which one of the angle is what, 90 degree. You can see now. So in this question we are asked to determine the example of a right angle, and the example there is option D. The answer is option D. Option D is correct. So number 29, prime factors of 64 in index form is dash. The prime factor of 64 in index form is dash. Now pay attention. Let us express 64 in index form. Okay? We have to find the prime factor of 64. The prime factor of 64 are those factors that can divide 64. Okay? So we start from 2. Do you understand? Let's start from 2. We have 64. Please pay attention. We have 64 here. So please pay attention. 2 divided by 64. That is what? 32. 2 divided by 32, that is what? 16. 2 divided by 16, that is what? 8. 2 divided by 8, that is what? 4. 2 divided by 4, that is what? 2. 2 divided by 2, that is what? 1. You can see now. So now, having done this, you can see that 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2. This in index form can be written as 2 raised to the power of 6. Do you understand? Because that means that we are having 2 in 6 places. So the right option to that question is option C. Option A says 2 raised to the power of 4. Option B, 2 raised to the power of 5. Option C, 2 raised to the power of 6. Option D, 2 raised to the power of 7. The correct option is option C. Option C is correct. Okay, so let us proceed to question 30. Let's proceed to question 30. Okay, now express 0.00002134 in standard form. Express 0.00002134 in standard form. expressing a number as the power of 10 is what we call standard form. You understand? Okay? So now, if you want to express this in standard form, how do we go about it? If you move, the size that you move the decimal point to will determine the sign that the 10 is going to carry. Let me quickly take you to let's say you are asked to express 100 in standard form. Do you know that 100 also has a decimal point? It has a decimal point, but the decimal point is invisible because it doesn't count now. The reason why it doesn't count is because it is here. Okay, the decimal point is here. If you have something like 100.0, you can see now, you see the same thing as 100. So the decimal point doesn't count, but 100 does has the decimal point. Now, please pay attention. The decimal point is here. Now, if you move this decimal point to the left hand side, the power that the 10 is going to carry will be positive. You understand? So here I'm going to have 1, 2. So if I want to place the decimal point here, I'm going to have 1.00 times 10 raised to the power of 2. Because I moved the decimal point twice. Do you understand? Okay, so now let's now say we have 0.00, okay, let's say we have 0.01. okay, and now we are asked to express this in standard form. Now, because I'm going to move this decimal point to the right hand side, the power that the 10 is going to carry will be negative. You understand? So the power that the 10 is going to carry will be negative. Don't forget, when we talk about standard form, it simply means expressing a number as the power of 10. So here I'm going to have 1, 2. So I'm going to have 1.0 times 10 raised to the power of negative 2. Do you understand? Okay, now let's go back to the question. The reason why I explained this is because the decimal point, you're going to move it to the right hand side. The power that the 10 is going to have is what? Will be negative. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So I'm going to have 2.134 times 10 raised to the power of negative 5. Do you understand? Okay? 2.134 times 10 raised to the power of negative 5. So option A says 2.134 times 10 raised to the power of 4. Incorrect. Option B, 2.134 times 10 raised to the power of 3. Incorrect. Option C, 2.134 times 10 raised to the power of negative 4. Incorrect. Option D, 2.134 times 10 raised to the power of negative 5. Correct. Option D is the correct option. Okay, so let's move to question number 31. Question 31. For question 31, we have, I add 6 to a certain number and then double the result. The answer is 24. Find the original number. Wow, I love this question. Now, listen. You add 6 to a certain number. Are you paying attention? Then you double the results. Then you got 24 as your answer. What is the original number? Now, pay attention. I don't know the number and you don't know the number, right? Let the number be a letter. You can represent it as a letter, but I'm going to represent the number as x. Okay, so solution. Let the number be x. Let the number be x. Okay, so I add 6 to a certain number and then double the result. So that means that because I have said let the number be x, I can say that x plus 6. Okay, that's the first statement. I add 6 to a certain number. I don't know the number, you don't know the number, and we are not allowed to guess. So we want to solve it mathematically. Okay, so we add 6 to x and then we now double the result. Okay, x plus 6 will give us certain thing, then we now double the result. So x plus 6, let us double it. Doubling a result means that you multiply it by 2. Okay, if I say that you double 4, that means 4 times 2 8. Okay, double 6, 6 times 2 12. Double 20, 20 times 2 40. Okay, so we double x plus 6, that is we multiply it by 2. Okay, and then the answer is 24. Find the original number. So it's equivalent to 24. So how do we get the value of x? Just take the product of 2 and what we have here. 2 times x is what? 2x. 2 times plus 6, that is plus 12, equals to 24. Okay, 2x is equals to 24 minus 12. Because if this plus 12 crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to change to what? A negative number. So I'm going to have 2x is equals to 24 minus 12 will give us 12. Okay, so divide both by 2 to get the value of x. So x is equals to 6. So the number is 6. You understand? So let us check. If x is 6, 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 times 2 is what? 24. So the right option to that question is option C. Option A is 2, option B is 2, option B is 4, option C is 6, option D is 8. The right option is option C. Option C is correct. Okay. Now for question 32. Calculate the perimeter of a football field which measures 8 meter by 50 meter. Calculate the perimeter of a football field which measures 8 meter by 15 meter. Pay attention. Do you know that before we can calculate the perimeter of a football field, we have to know the shape of the football field? Hope you know that. And I'm very sure you will have been to stadium, you will have been to, a field. You will have seen a field before. A field is always rectangle. A standard field is always a rectangular in shape. Okay. So if I want to draw the field now, this is the field. This is the field. This is the field. Okay. On the field we have goalpost. This is the goalpost. Okay. Now, the space that the ball is allowed to pass is what we call the field. You understand? So the field is the rectangular shape. So we can erase this goalpost. Do you understand? If the ball crosses out here, are you paying attention? So this is the field. Now you can see that the shape of the field is a rectangle. So if you know the formula to calculate the perimeter of the rectangle, you can easily get the answer. Now, if I want to label this will be 50 meter, and this will be 8 meter. So, with respect to the information that we've been given in the question, we can calculate the perimeter of the football field. Just pay attention. Now, let's get the perimeter. Let's get the perimeter of the football field. You know that perimeter of a rectangle is equals to 2 open bracket L plus B. Okay, so the length is 50. So I'm going to have 250 plus 8. Okay, so here I'm going to have 2 multiplied by 58. 2 multiplied by 58. Okay, 2 multiplied by 58, that is 116. So the answer to this is 116 meter because the unit is a meter, you understand? So the answer to the question is 116 meter. Now let's check the correct option. The correct option to that question is option A is correct. That is 160 meter. Okay, so let's proceed to question 32. Question 33. What is the probability of scoring a 7 in a die? Number 33. What is the probability of scoring a 7 in a die? Now, please, I want you to pay attention. You see, in every die, we have 6 faces. You understand what I'm saying? We have 6 faces. Now, we are now asked that what is the probability of scoring a 7 in a die? That means that the probability will be 0, you understand, because 7 is not present in a die. Okay, are you paying attention? So a die has 6 faces. Are you paying attention? Now we are now asked that what's the probability of scoring a 7? That is, if you throw a die upward, if you throw a die now, what's the probability of showing a 7th face? You understand? It's very impossible. You understand? That will be 0. Okay, so we have the option A 1, option B 2, option 3, option C 3, option D 0. The correct answer is option D, which is 0. Option D is correct. Okay. Now for question 34. For question 34, what is the next term in the sequence 1, 3, 7, 15, and 31? What is the next term in the sequence 1, 3, 7, 15, and 31. Okay, do you know the meaning of what the question was? The question was actually asking you that after 31, what number will follow? You understand? That is the term that we are asked to determine. Do you understand? Okay, now please pay attention. Before you can get the number that follows, you have to determine the pattern. You understand what I'm saying? There is something called pattern. That is for advanced mathematics and arithmetic sequence, or this geometric sequence. You understand? So before you can determine the next number after 31, you have to know the pattern of the number. Okay, so I want you to pay attention. Now let us get the pattern. Okay, please, I want you to pay attention. For this one, for the first term here, you can say 2 times 1, that is 2. 2 minus 1 is what? Please, I want you to pay attention. It's simple. To solve this question, you must be able to think. Okay, now look at this. How do we determine the pattern which this sequence follows? Let me start by saying this. So how do we determine the pattern which this sequence follows? To solve this question, you must be able to think, okay? And you can use various methods, because I've already decoded like 2 methods to solve this question out, okay? Now, to get the value of 1, you understand? This sequence follows 2 raised to the power of n minus 1, okay? This is one of the value, this is one of the code, this is one of the pattern that I decode. You understand what I'm saying? You see, you must be able to think. I told you to get this, to get the answer to this question, you must be able to think. Okay, now let's start. To get the first term, the first term is 1, right? So I'm going to have 2 raised to the power of 1 minus 1. That is what? 2 minus 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is what? That is 1, okay? So you understand what I'm doing now, okay? Now, the second term, n will be equals to 2, okay? Here, n will be equals to 1. N will be equals to 2, n will be equals to 3, n will be equals to 4, n will be equals to 5 here. You understand? Okay? So let us proceed to the next one. Let's see if it will give us 3. So when n equals to 2, I'm going to have 2 raised to the power of 2 minus 1. That is what? 4 minus 1, which is equals to 3. Now, when n is equals to 3, I'm going to have 2 raised to the power of 3 minus 1. That is what? 8 minus 1, that is what? 7. You can see now. Okay, when n is equals to 4, I'm going to have 2 raised to the power of 4 minus 1. That is what? 2 raised to the power of 4 is 16. 16 minus 1 will give me 15. You can see now. Now, for the next one, n is equals to 5. I'm going to have 2 raised to the power of 5 minus 1. 2 raised to the power of 5 is what? That is 32. 32 minus 1. 32 minus 1 is what? 31. Okay? So the next number will be 2 raised to the power of 6 minus 1. That is what? 64 minus 1, which is 63. So the next number here will be 63. You understand? So the right option to that question is option C. Okay? Option A is 61, option B is 62, option C is 63, option D is 64. So the right option to that question is option C, which is 63. You understand? Okay? And if you don't want to do it this way, you can do it another way. You see, when it comes to dealing with sequence question, you just have to be able to think. Okay? Now look, I want to use another method now, because there is no number before this. There is no number before this one. Let's assume that we just assume like maybe there is 0. Okay? So 0 times 2, that is what? 0, right? 0 plus 1 will give us 1. Now, here to get this 3, I'm going to say 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay? 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1, 7. 7 times 2, 14. 14 plus 1, 15. 15 times 2, 30. 30 plus 1, 31. 31 times 2 is 62. 62 plus 1 is 63. You understand? So you just have to be able to think. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So the right option to that question is option C. That is 63. So let us proceed to to the next question. That is question 35. Okay. So please make sure that the method that you use follows the pattern. You understand? That is why they gave you like some numbers before those numbers. You must make sure that you get each values. You understand? So as to ensure that the pattern is actually for the sequence that you are given. Okay. So let us proceed to question Question 35. What is the coefficient of A in the expansion of 2A minus 5 and 3A minus 5 and 2A plus 3? Question 35. What is the coefficient of A in the expansion of 3A minus 5 and 2A plus 3? Now, I told you that the coefficient simply means the number before the letter A. You understand? So let us expand this. For this, I'm going to have 3A into brackets 2A plus 3, just like what we did earlier. And for this, I'm going to have minus 5 into brackets 2A plus 3. Now here I'm going to have 6A squared plus 9A yes, minus 10A. Then for this, we're going to have minus 15. Do you understand? Minus 5 times 2A minus 10A. Okay, minus 5 times plus 3, that is minus 15. Here I'm going to have 6A squared. Now 9A minus A. Okay, plus 9A minus 10A, that is what? Minus A. Minus 15. So the coefficient of A is minus 1. Minus 1 is the coefficient of A. The right option to that question is option A. Option A is correct. Okay, so let's proceed to question 36. For question 36, we have 150 oranges were shared among the guests and in the proportion of 2:3:5. How many did each of them get? Okay, 150 orange. Total numbers of orange is what? That is 150. Okay, now we are given this ratio. The ratio that they share this orange is 2:3:5. Now I want you to pay attention. Let's say that the first student, okay, the first girl, this is the ratio of the first girl, this is the ratio for the second girl. I just say I'm solving the question right now, so just pay attention. And this is the ratio for the third girl. Now, to get the amount of oranges, to get the numbers of oranges that each of the girls received, the first step is that you have to add these ratios together. You understand? So for this, the total will be, you have to add the ratio together. That is 2 plus 3 plus 5. So that will be 10. You understand? So let us get the numbers of orange that the first girl received. So we are going to have the ratio that is accrues. Do you know the meaning of this ratio? The meaning of this ratio is that when the first girl will receive 2, the second girl will receive 3, and the third girl will receive 5. You understand? So now to get the numbers of orange that the first girl received out of 150 oranges, how you have to do is that just bring the ratio here, 2 all over the total numbers of the ratio, which is 10, multiplied by 150. So here we're going to have 2 multiplied by 15, because this 0 can cancel this 0. We only have 15 times 2, that is 30. So the first girl received 30 orange. Now let's proceed to calculate the numbers of orange received by the second girl. We're going to bring the numbers accrues to the second girl, that is 3. So I'm going to have 3 all over 10 multiplied by 150. So here I'm going to have 3 times 15, that is 45. So yeah, that is 45 orange. And for the last one, which is for the third girl, let me erase this. Just pay attention, okay? It's simple. Now for the third girl, all you have to do now is just bring the ratio as well. That is 5. 5 all over the total number, the sum of all the ratio, that is 10, multiplied by 150. So 5 times 15. That is 75. Okay. So you can see now. So this is the first guy received 30, the second received 45, and the third received 75. So let's look at the correct option. Option A says 80, 48, 32. That is incorrect. Option B, 32, 80, 48. Incorrect. Option C, we have 30. Yes, the first guy received 30. 45. Yes. Then 75. Yes. So option C is correct. Option D is incorrect as well. Okay. So let's proceed to question number 37. For 37, we have a boy is 3 years old, older than his sister. The sum of the ages is 31. Find their respective age. Okay. Now please pay attention. Let the boy age be X let the sister age, okay, let a sister age, please pay attention. I'm solving the question right now, so I want you to pay attention. Let a sister age be y, okay? Let the boy age equals to x and the sister age equals to y. Now, I want to express this mathematically. Let's look at the first statement. The first statement there says a boy is 3 years older than his sister. That means that if I want to express the boy age in terms of the age of the sister, the boy age, which is x is equals to, please pay attention, x is equals to y plus 3. The reason is because the boy, which is x, is 3 years older than the age of the sister, and the age of the sister, I've already represented this as what? As y. Do you understand now? So hence I can express this is the mathematical expression of the first statement. You understand what I'm saying? So here, that's the mathematical expression for the first statement. I can write this as x. Now if this y crosses the equals to sign, I'm going to have, okay, there is no need. Let us call this equation 1. Okay, now let's proceed to the second statement. The second statement says the sum of the ages, the sum of their ages is 31. So the sum simply means addition. So if you sum their ages together, x plus y will give us 31. Find their respective age. Let us call this equation 2. Okay, so we can easily solve this using substitution method. All you have to do is that just replace the value of x in equation 2 by y plus 3. Okay, so here I'm going to have, since I have x here, I'm going to have y plus 3. Then you put the plus y is equals to 31. What I did was that I replaced this x by y plus 3 because from equation 1 x is equivalent to y plus 3. Do you understand? Okay, so from that we can easily solve for the value of y. Y plus y is 2y, so I'm going to have 2y plus 3 is equals to 31. Now 2y is equals to 31 minus 3. 2y is equals to 31 minus 3 is what? Is 28. Okay, divide both sides by 2. This over 2, this over 2. So here y is equals to 28 divided by 2, that is 14. Okay, so the age of the girl is 14 years. 14 years. 14 years. Now we can easily determine the age of the boy. You can see now, we can easily determine the age of the boy. The age of the boy will be, because, please pay attention, from equation 1, x, which is the age of the boy, is equals to y plus 3. And we've already gotten y as what? 14. So x will be equals to, x is equals to, now y is equals to 14. I'm going to have 14 plus 3. Hence, this will be x is equals to 14 plus 3, that is 17. Okay, so the age of the boy is 17 years, while the age of the girl is 14 years. So let us check the right option. Option A, we have to find their respective age. Option A, we have 17 and 14. Option B, 27 and 24. Option C, 35 and 32. Option D, 32 and 30. Option A is the correct option. Okay, so because the age of the boy is 17, while the age of the girl that is 14. Now let us proceed to the next question. We have express 7.4 times 10 raised to the power of negative 4 as decimal fraction. Okay, 4 as decimal fraction. Okay, we have question 38. We have 7.4 times 10 raised to the power of negative 4 as decimal fraction. I want to pay attention. Now, according to the laws of indices, I'm very sure you remember, if you have a letter raised to the power of negative number, for example, let's say we have a raised to the power of negative 1. This can be written as 1 over a, right? If you have a raised to the power of negative 2, this can be written as 1 over a raised to the power of 2. And if you have a raised to the power of negative 3, that is 1 over a raised to the power of 3. Okay? Now, that means that I can change this standard. You see, as you see this equation here, this expression that you see here is in standard form. You understand? So I want to express this as a decimal. You can put it like this: 7.4 times 10 raised to the power of negative 4. Now 10 raised to the power of negative 4 can be written as 1 over 10 raised to the power of 4. So I'm going to have 7.4 times 1 over 10 raised to the power of 10 raised to the power of 4. Okay, now I want you to pay attention. Here I'm going to have 7.4 times 10 1 over, now 10 raised to the power of 4 is 10 10,000. So I'm going to have 10 raised to the power of 4 is 10,000. I'm very sure you and if you can even make use of a calculator, you understand what I'm saying, okay? So 7.4 times 1 raised to the power of 10,000 will give us 7.4 all over 10,000. Do you understand? Okay, now please, I want you to pay attention. This is where most students get it wrong. This that you see here can be you can write it as, now because we have negative 4, just can't. How many zeros does 10,000 has? It has 4 zeros. So just move this decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I'm going to put the decimal point here. So replace this as 0, this as 0, this as 0, and this as 0. Okay. So in that case, I'm going to have 0.000. Yes, 0.00074. You understand? Okay. In decimal form, the expression 7.4 times 10 raised to the power of negative 4 is 0.00074. You understand? Okay. Now, if you check the options there, option A says 0.0007. That is incorrect. Option B 0.0074. That is incorrect as well. Option C 0.00074. Yes, that is the correct option, and option D is incorrect as well. Okay, so that is the solution to that question. Now, for the next question, we have what is the median for question 37 now. Okay, question 39. Question 39. For question 39, we have what is the median of 4, 2, 3, 1, 3. Okay, what is the median? Now, don't forget, median is the middle number when you arrange all the data set in an ascending order. Okay, now the first step is that you have to arrange in ascending order, that is in the order of increment. Now, what is the least number here? The least number is 1, followed by 2, followed by 3. Don't forget that we have another 3, followed by 3 as well, followed by 4, followed by 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now you can see that we have an even data. You understand? So we are going to have two numbers in the middle. Okay, so here can't. So we are left with what? These two numbers in the middle. How do we get the median? Because we have an even data, we are going to have two numbers in the middle. All you have to do here is that just take the sum of the number. You understand? Take the sum of the number. We're going to have 3 plus 3 and divide it by 2. That is it. You take the average. Now, if you are given an even data, that is, if the total numbers of the elements or the data that you are given is even, you are going to have two numbers in the middle if you are looking for the median. Okay, and the average of these two numbers is the true median of that data. Okay, so you have to take the average of 3 and 3, 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, so I'm going to have 6 all over 2. That is 3 as well. So the right option to that question is option D. Okay, option A is 2, option B is 4, option C is 1, option D is 3. Now we have question 40. For question 40, which of the following do we refer as angle at a point? Which of the following do we refer to as angle at a point? We have 180 degree, 90 degree, 360 degree, and 540 degree. Now, don't forget, we have various angles. There is a right angle, that is 90 degree. We have angles on the straight line, that is 180 degree. We have angles at a point, that is 360 degree. The correct option is option C. Option C is correct. Now for question 41, a rectangle has a perimeter of 22 meters. Okay, a rectangle has a perimeter of 22 meters. Find the length of the rectangle if its breadth is 4 meters. Now, let's write the parameters that were given in the question. The perimeter of the rectangle, the perimeter is equal to 22 meters. Please pay attention. Find the length of the rectangle if its breadth. The breadth, D, is equal to 4 meters. Now, we are asked to find the length. We don't know the value of the length, so let us put question mark. So how do we find the length of this rectangle? All you have to do is that you know that the formula for perimeter of a rectangle is what? Perimeter is equal to 2 open bracket L plus B. Okay? Now, we know the breadth, but we don't know the length. So, by solving this equation and substituting the value of breadth as 4 meters, we can easily determine the length. Okay, just pay attention. All these questions are just, I've not gotten to the real question. You can see that if you look at the previous year that we solved, that is 2020, you will discover that there are similar questions. So it's important that you master those topics very well, because this kind of question, that is what you're going to come across in your exam. Okay, so now when the breadth is 4, I can easily say that perimeter is what, 22. So I'm going to have 22 is equals to 2 multiplied by L. We don't know the value of L, let us put it plus B. Don't forget that breadth has been given as 4, so I'm going to have plus 4. Okay, 22 is equals to 2 times L, 2L, plus 2 times 4, that is 8. Okay, 2L is equals to 22 minus 8. Okay, 2L is equals to, now if you subtract 22, if you subtract 8 from 22, you're going to have 14, right? So this is 14. So divide both by 2 to get the length. L is equals to 7. So the value of the length is 7 meters. Okay, let's look at the right option in that question. Option A is 9 meters. Option B is 7 meters. Option C 20 meters. Option D 26 meters. Option B is correct. Okay, now let's proceed to question 42. For question 42, we have the following are examples of triangle except dash. The following are examples of triangle except dash. Now, we have A, polynomial triangle, B, equilateral triangle, C, isosceles triangle, D, right angle triangle. Now, we have many types of triangle, but one among these triangle is not a triangle. There is no, for example, there is nothing like polynomial triangle. Okay, polynomial is an equation. You understand what I'm saying? So there is nothing like polynomial triangle. Okay. All we have equilateral triangle where all the sides and the angles in that triangle are equal. We have isosceles where the base angle and the two sides are equal. The two sides that faces each other, they are equal, and the base angle of the triangle are equal. That is isosceles triangle. And the right angle triangle is a type of triangle where one of the angles is 90 degrees. Okay, so there is nothing like polynomial triangle. Hence, the right option to that question is option A. Now for question 43, we are asked to solve for the value of x in 6 all over x minus 1 is equals to 8 all over 2x minus 5. Now look, we have two fractions, and these two fractions are separated by an equals to sign. It's simple. Okay, I'm very sure you will have come across this kind of question. Why practice a question on your own? Now, when you have two fractions separated by an equals to sign, the easiest way to go is to take the cross product. Okay, yes, the easiest way to solve the question is to take the cross product. So I'm going to have cross product simply means cross multiply. So I'm going to have this multiply this and this multiply this. So I'm going to have 6 multiplied by 2x minus 5 is equals to 8 multiplied by x minus 1. Do you understand? Okay, 6 times 2x, that is 12x. 6 times negative 5, that is negative 30, is equals to 8 times x, that is 8x. 8 times negative 1, that is what? Negative 8. Okay, now since you are done with that, you can now collect like terms. Okay, like terms simply means adding the terms that are similar to each other. Like term simply means adding the terms that are similar to each other. So you can simply add the terms. You can see that we have 12x here, we have 8x here. If this 8x crosses the equals to sign, the positive sign that it carries is going to change to negative. So I'm going to have 12x minus 8x is equals to negative 8 plus 30. How do I get plus 30? It is because this 30 is carrying a negative sign before. So when it crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to become a positive sign. Okay, now 12x minus 8x, that is 4x. Okay, so I'm going to have 4x is equals to negative 8 plus 30. Now you are owing someone 8 naira and you have 30 naira. If you give that person 30 naira, how much are you going to have? Yes, you're going to have, it's going to give you a change of 22 naira. You understand? So likewise, if you subtract 8 from 30, you're going to have 22. So I'm going to have 22 here. Divide both by 4. Okay, so I'm going to have a fraction here. X is equals to 22 divided by 4. Yes, 22 divided by 4 will give us 11 over 2. 11 over 2. And if they put the option in decimal, that will be 5.5. Okay, yes, 5 over 5 over 1 over 2. So the option is a mixed fraction. So if you change this to mixed fraction, you are going to have 5 whole number 1 over 2. Okay? How do I got that? Are you thinking how I got the mixed fraction? All you have to do is that now 11 divided by 2, that will be what? 5 remainder 1. So I write this 5 out. Now because 2 is the denominator of this fraction, I put the 2, then the remainder you put it here. You understand? So that's how I got the mixed fraction. So don't get confused. Now we have question 44. For question 44, okay, option A is the correct option for that question. For question 42, option A is correct. Question 44, we are asked to find the value of x. Let me draw it out. We have 2x here. We have 40 degree. We have 54. Okay, let me make it bigger. Okay, please just pay attention. Let's make it a bigger one. Let me draw the diagram very well so that you can see. Okay, we have 2x here. We have 40 degree. Here I have 54 degree. Now, we are asked to find the value of x in the diagram below. Now, they are going to give you a question paper so you can easily access the diagram. Now, I'm solving the question on the board, so you have to pay attention to the board now. You are asked to find the value of x in the diagram on the board. Find x. Now, how do we get the value of x? You know that this is a triangle and 2x is also an angle. 40 degree is an angle in this triangle. Likewise, 54 degree is also an angle in this triangle. All you have to do is that just, you know that from your basic knowledge of plane shape, sum of angles in a triangle is what? 180 degree. Hence, if you sum all these angles in this triangle together, it must be equal to 180 degree. So you can easily proceed like 2x plus 40 plus 54 is equal to 180 degree. Okay, 2x plus 40 plus 54, that is 94. 94 is equal to 180 degree. 2x is equal to 180 minus 94. Okay, 2x is equal to, now please pay attention. The goal is to determine the value of x. 180 minus 94, that is 86. Okay, 86. So I'm going to have 86 divided by 2. X is equal to 43. So the value of x is 43. Let's look at the right option. Option A says 43 degree. Option B 80 degree. Okay. Option B 86 degree. Option C 45 degree. Option D 25 degree. The correct option is option A. Okay. Option A is correct. Do you understand? Option A is correct. So that is the solution to that question. Now, so we have gotten to an aspect of quantitative reasoning. So in this your exam, expect this type of question, and you're also going to answer quantitative reasoning question. Okay, so this is the quantitative reasoning question for 2021-2022. Please, I want you to pay attention. We are asked to use this sample below to answer questions 45 to 47. Okay, this is the sample that we are given. Okay, to use this sample to solve the question 45 to 47, you have to know how this box, and this box are related to each other. You understand? How the values that you have in the three boxes are related to each other. Okay, the patterns that they follow, you have to know the pattern. Now pay attention. You see, we have 3 over 5 here. What can we multiply by 3 that is going to give us 9? It is that same value that we must multiply by the denominator that must give us 15. Let me explain it again. Okay, you know, this is quantitative reasoning, so it's just something that you have to reason. Okay, now listen to me. We have 3 over 5 here and we have 9 over 15 here. What can we multiply by 3 that is going to give us 9? That same value that we multiply by 3 that gave us 9, we must also multiply it by 5 and it will also give us 15. Do you understand? Okay, now let's proceed. We have 3 over 5. What can we multiply by 3 to give us 9? That is 3, because you know 3 times 3 give us what? 9. Do you understand? Now, because I multiplied the numerator of this fraction by 3 and I got 9, that means that it is the denominator also, I must also multiply it by 3 to get 15. Do you understand? So here I'm going to have 3 multiplied by 5. You can see that that is 15. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Now back to the other side of the back to the right hand side of the box. This is the left hand side. We have done with this. Now, how do we use this to get this? What is the relationship that exists between this box 6/10 and 3 over 5? Now, please pay attention. what can we multiply by 3 as well to give us 6? If you know what we can multiply by 3 to give us 6, then we are good to go, because it is that same value that we're going to multiply by the denominator to get the value, which is 10. So what can we multiply by 3 to give us 6? That is 2. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 multiplied by 6. That is what? 2 multiplied by 3. Sorry, 2 multiplied by this 3 will give me 10. Will give me 6. So I'm going to have 6 here. So here I'm going to have as well 2 multiplied by 5. That is what? 10. So you can see that this is what? 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 5, 10. You can see now. Now, back to what we have here. We have 8 ratio 12. That is question 45. Please kindly pay attention. This is 8 ratio 12 and this is 4 ratio 16. And we are told to find the value that will be inside this box. You can see we are told to find the value that will be inside this box. So how do we find the value? Well, it's simple. We are just going to follow the same we are going to follow the same approach, because this is the sample that we have to use to solve for question 45 to 47. Okay, so just pay attention. Now, please pay attention. What can we multiply by 3? You can see that this is the denominator here. 3 is the denominator. Are you paying attention? You know that it is what we multiply by the denominator that will give us the value here, and it is what we multiply by the numerator that will give us the value here. Do you understand? Okay, now, but I don't know the value that I'm going to multiply by the denominator to give me 12. You understand? So what can we multiply by 3 to give us 12? That is 3 times 4. You understand? So I'm going to have 4 times 3 will give us 12. This 12 that you see here is here. You understand? Now, what can we, since I know that it is 4 that I multiply by 3 to give me 12, that means that it is 4 that I'm going to multiply what is going to be inside this box. I'm going to multiply it by 4 to give me 8. You understand? But I don't know what is going to be inside this box. Let us represent it as maybe x. You understand? So let us represent it as x. Okay. So x times 4. X times 4 must give me 8. You understand? But the goal is to determine the value of x. You understand? So x times 4 will give me what? 4x. So I'm going to have 4x is equals to 8. Divide both sides by 4. So I'm going to have this over 4 and this over 4. Don't forget that we have to determine the value that will be present in this box. But I don't know the value and you don't know the value. But from the patterns of the question that we are given, from the sample that we are given, we know that if we multiply a value by the denominator and it gives us the value here, that same value is what we are going to multiply by the numerator as well to give us the value here. You understand? So I discovered that if I multiply 4 by 3, I'm going to have 12. That means that I'm going to multiply 4 by x. You know, I don't know the value. I don't know the value of x. So I represent this. I don't know the value that will be in this box. So I represent it as x. So that means if I multiply this, the value that is going to be here, I've already represented as x. So I'm going to have, if I multiply x by 4, it must give me 8. And that's what I did. X times 4 is what? 8. 8x times 4 will give me 4x. Divide both by 4 to get the value of x. X is equals to 8 divided by 4 will give me 2. So the right answer to this question is 2. Do you understand? So the value that will be here is 2. Okay, I'm very sure you understand how I got this. Okay, so that is for question 45. Do you understand? That's for question 45. Now let us proceed to question 46. Okay, you can see question 46 here. We have 20 ratio. Okay, we are told to find the value that will be here. Okay, we are asked to find the value that will be here. Now from the patterns of question that we saw earlier, we know that it is this box that corresponds to the denominator and it is this box that corresponds to the numerator here. You understand? Now, we are given this and we are given 4. We are given this and we don't know the value here. From the sample that we are given, look here. From the sample that we are given, we know that it is the same value that we multiply by the numerator that we are going to multiply by the denominator to get the value here. Do you understand? So, now, what can we multiply by 4 to give us 20? I don't know. What can we multiply by 4 to give us 20? That is 5. So please pay attention. 4 times 5 will give me 20. You understand? So now we know that I multiply this 4 by 5 to get 20. That means that it is that same value that I'm going to multiply by 5 to get the value that is going to be here. You understand? So this 5, that is 5 times the 5 that we multiply by the numerator. The 5 that we multiply by the numerator, that is 5 as well. So I'm going to have 5 times 5 is what? 25. Hence, the value that is going to be here is 25. Do you understand? If you didn't understand, listen to the explanation again why I use the sample, okay? So that's the solution. The right option to this question is option A, okay? Do you understand? Now let's proceed to question 47. Okay? For question 47, we have 3:9, 10 ratio. We are asked to find the value here, and we have 1/3, okay? Now, I've already explained to you that from the sample that we are given, listen, this is the sample again. Let me bring this is the sample. You can see we have 3/5 here and we have 6/10 here. Now, if you look at this sample, if you multiply 2 by 3, you are going to have 6. And if you multiply 2 by 5, you are going to have what? 10. Is that not it? Yes, it is. So that means that if you the same value that you multiply by the numerator and denominator, you must have something like that. Yeah. This is what I'm trying to say. The same value that you multiply by the numerator must be that same value that you multiply by the denominator to get the number that is going to be here. Now, if you look at the question that we are given the number here, which is 10, and we don't know we are asked to find the number that's supposed to be here. We don't know the number, and I don't know the number as well. So, how do we get the number? Now, if you multiply, what can we multiply by 1 to give us 10? If you know that number, all you have to do is that just multiply the denominator, which is 3 here, and multiply by that number to get the value that is going to be here. Do you understand? Okay, so okay, this is section 2 for the quantitative reasoning for the past exam question of 2021. Now, we are asked to use the sample below to answer question 48 to 50. Okay, that means that before we can answer question 48 to 50, we have to study the sample that we are given. Okay, so this is the sample. We have 2 here, we have 36, we have 3 and 6. So how does this number on this sample relate to each other? You understand? So we have to study the pattern. Now, pay attention. If you have 2, this 2 times 3, this 3 times 6, you're going to have 6 times 6, which is equal to what? 36. That means that the product of this 2 times 6 and 2 times 3, you see, the product of 2, 3, and 6 will give us 36. That means that the number here, to get the number that is here, we just have to take the product of the 3 number. You understand? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Now, it is easy to get the value that is here as well. All you have to do is just pay attention. To get the value that is here, you know that if you take the product of 3, this, and this, you are going to have 18. Listen to the explanation again. Listen to the explanation. When I want to get this 36, I just show you how to get 36. To get 36, they take the product of 2, 3, and 6. 2 times 3 is what? 6. 6 times 6 is what? 36. This is quantitative reasoning. You can do it in another way. It doesn't matter, okay? But all you have to do is that just make sure that the way that you approach it follows the pattern of the question, okay? Now, let's solve this one. We know that if you take the product of this number, and this number, we must have 18. So let us proceed. Here, I'm going to have, let the number that is going to be here be x. You understand? So we are going to have 3 times 2 times x. It must give us what? 18. You understand? So 3 times 2 is what? 6. 6 times x equals to 18. 6x equals to 18. To get the value of x, divide by 6. So x equals to 18 divided by 6 is 3. So the answer is 3. Do you understand? The value that is going to be here is 3. Do you get it? So when it's come to quantitative reasoning, all you have to do is just, you must be able to reason. Do you understand? Okay, so that is for question 48. Let's proceed to question 49. We have 3, 54, and 2. We are asked to find the value that is going to be here. And I've already told you that the product of the number here, and the number that is here will give us the number that is here, as foretold in our exam, in the sample that you are given. Okay. Now that means that if let us represent this number that is going to be here by y. Okay. So that means I'm going to have 3 times 2 times y must be equals to what? 54. So the goal is to solve for the value of y. 3 times 2 is what? 6. So I'm going to have 6 times y. 6 times y is 6y. Okay. 6 times y is what? 6y. So I'm going to have 6y equals to 54. Divide by 6. This over 6 and this over 6. Y equals to 9. So this the answer that is going to be here is 9. The option C is the correct option. Now let us proceed to question 50. We have 3 here, we have 60 here, and we don't know the answer, the number that is going to be here. It's simple. All you have to do is just pay attention. Now, we know from the sample that if you take the product of the number that is here, the number that is here, and the number that is here, you must have the number that is going to be here. So if I take the product of 3 and this number, I must have 60. So I don't know this number. Let us represent as any letter. Let's represent as K or M. So for this, we're going to have 3, please pay attention, 3 times m times 4 equals to 60, okay? 3 times m, that is 3m. 3m times 4, that is 12m. So I'm going to have 12m equals to 60 divided by 12, this over 12. So m equals to 5. Hence, the number that is going to be here is 5, okay? So the right option to that question is option C. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the solution to the quantitative reasoning question. So we've come to the end of 2021 BECE Mathematics Examination Solution. So that's for objective. To watch the theoretical aspects of this class, you can check the link in the description of this video, okay? So before you do, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure you drop comments on what you learned and what you don't understand in the course of this video. See you in the next class.